Okay, sanitize his own hands using hand sanitizer. Subsections the hair in sections equal to the length and the diameter of the roller. In the top center section, complete on-base roller placement and ensures the roller is anchored properly. On the right side of the head, completes a no-stem pin curl and anchors properly. Behind the roller placement, completes 3 ridged finger waves, 4 inches wide and 1 inch apart. Again, we're not doing measurements, but you can see an eyeball. Now, if I put my roller right here, where does my finger wave have to go? Right behind it. Is this not one of the worst areas to do a finger wave? Okay, so it said in the center the center top section, right? Section. Okay, I can put my roller right here, and then my finger wave goes back here, right? Which is much easier to do than to fight it up here, okay? So that roller placement should go toward the back of that section so that they can do their finger wave down below, okay? Again, the safety criteria is all the same. Any questions on safety criteria for this? They drop a roller, they got to pick it up right away. They can't kick it out of the way. Pin curl says it's as long as it's in the right side of the head. Nope, don't matter where, as long as it's on the right side of the head. Okay, let's go over some commonly missed task lines. Look what comes up again. It is consistently happening. And I honestly think they cannot go to school as long as they go to school and not know that they have to sanitize their hands, right? So the only other option is that it's not happening in the correct time frame. That has to be it. Okay? And in this section, we've got 38%. It was 46, so it's better than what it was. Okay? So we got to make sure. And then this one, on the right side of the head, completes a no-stem pin curl and anchors properly. The problem is the anchoring. Okay? If you look at this first one, this is correct. This one is incorrect. It should not go all the way across that curl. It needs to go inside. It doesn't matter if it's 2-prong, 1-prong, that doesn't matter. Just so long as it's anchored with it going down in the hole, not across the top. Okay? And we had, oh, this one was removed. Good. We had 47% are not getting it correct, and it was 51%. So it is improving. Watch their pin curls and how they anchor them. Now, again, it was very hard to find a finger wave, and especially to find one that was in the back of the head. And I want you to understand, this is perfection, because it's from a picture on the internet. It's perfection. It's not what we expect to see, okay? I just wanted to show it, to show the defined and the space between, okay? Those ridges are clearly defined. It's a definite finger wave. So behind the roller payment completes a 3-ridge finger wave. A lot of times they just want to do 2, not 3 ridges, and 4 inches apart and 1 inch wide. If they could get away with it, we've seen them do a parting right here about that wide. Okay, they hate finger waves. I don't blame them. I did too. So that's another story. But we'll have to do another name. Okay, and they're usually not that 4 inches wide, so we need to be careful with that. 62% are not doing that correctly, and there's no change in that from July. So again, go back to your students and work on those finger waves. Okay? Any questions? We're all good? Blow drying and thermal curling service. We say to them, the next section is blow drying and thermal curling service. You'll have 20 minutes to complete this section, which involves blow drying wet hair. We did have to specify. And then we're going to tell them in the right front quadrant. You'll have 10 minutes. You'll be informed when you have 10 minutes remaining. Does anyone have any questions? And also, they must have the Marcel curling iron because that's what the CIB says they have to have. Okay? So we have sanitize his hands, blow dries wet hair in the right front quadrant using a bent or round brush, ensures hair is tangle-free, test the iron for proper temperature by clamping down on a tissue, a paper, or neck strip, sections hair such that the width of the partings are equal to the barrel size, subsections are no longer than 3 inches, meaning no more than a roller. Okay. Rolls and manipulates the iron to establish a base, protects the scalp from the comb, places curl off base, and ensures smooth open curl formation without securing with clips. Okay, we'll go over the commonly missed. Safety criteria. Any questions on safety criteria? Anybody think of anything yet? If you do, just say so. Yell out there. Okay. We have a problem with forming a base. Again, we've got the sanitizes the hands, and this one is at 50%. 50%. So it's getting worse as the exam goes on. You see that in the percentages, even in for the sanitizing hands. It's like they are sanitizing, they're just not doing it when they should, so they can get credit for it. Okay, and then manipulates the iron to form a base. A lot of them do not understand what that means. Now, it was at 50%, it's gotten better, it's now at 41%, but we still have problems. What we're talking about here is, see how this curling iron is up underneath right here. All to manipulate the base means is that you're just heating it up right at that base. Okay, that's all it means. It can be that they take the subsection, they pull it up and they go tap, tap, tap. That's good enough. They can open up the shell, put it in, go like that. That's good enough. But they're completely not doing it at all. Okay? So there's not even a version of it. So we need to make sure that they do. And that is at 41%, like I said.
And that's where y'all want to curl it?
No. The picture, again, these pictures are, it's difficult to find exactly because of each state has different things. So it's just kind of like the task line needs to be performed. So where it tells them in the task line to do it in the right front. I think it's the right front, isn't it? Blow dry?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so that's where that should go.
The curl is so it's off base, so section the 3 inches across.
Right. Correct. Yes.
And then they set it. They don't comb it out.
Right.
They just leave the curl formed.
Leave the curl formed. Right. And then this is coming up in this one. The commonly missed task line ensures smooth open curl formation without securing with clips. So we want it to be secure enough or tight enough in that curl formation that it will just hang there. Again, this is perfection stuff. And we're not looking for that. It's minimal competency. But that kind of gives you an idea of a curl that has been completely formed and sitting on its own. Okay. Yep, they can use product. You bet. And 37% are missing this one. And this one is better. It was 54% before, so it's getting better. 37% now are missing this task line. Okay, now, something else that happens right here. This score has gotten better to the point where it's been removed from the, or is it? Yeah, it was removed from the presentation, but it's still like borderline. It's at 30%. So I'm going to talk about it, even though we don't have a slide on it. I am going to talk about this is the end of exam. When they're done with that last section, the blow dry section, the tendency to clean up and put things away is very tempting to them. And they will undrape it. They will pull everything apart, take it all down, pack our kit back up, and then they just sit down like they're ready to go. Well, then there is 10 more minutes of the end of exam. Okay? So the end of exam, the last section is the end of exam. You'll have 10 minutes to complete it. You'll be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. Does anyone have any questions? So, at the end of my blow dry, I removed my cape. I threw and disposed away all the towels and everything that I had used. I disinfected my workstation. I sanitized my hands. These 4 task lines were performed at the ends of blow dry, so when it come to end of exam, they got nothing to do, right? So they lose these 4 points. Even though they did it, they've lost the points, okay? I'm sorry?
What if they accidentally do all that stuff and then they realize what they've done?
Get it back out.
Spray it off.
Just get it back out, because there's nothing that says to remove or contaminate or anything like that. There's no score on that, okay? But they do get scored for removing that cape. So they need to, during that 2 minutes, when they have 2 minutes to take out the supplies from the end of the exam, to get all that stuff out that they put away, so they get credit.
would you not take the cape off? I mean, if you're at the end of the blow drying, you're supposed to take it off?
No, this is where it comes in.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So when you take that drape off, you're performing a task line associated with another section. Remember in the very, very beginning of our instructions that we read in the briefing that said that not to perform task lines associated with the next one until you get those instructions. Okay? So this is an area, this is an easy fix. This truly is an easy fix. If you don't allow them to clean anything up after the blow dry, there's no scoring. The scoring's all done. Once they've performed it, it's done. So let them just leave everything out there so they have this to do at the end of exam. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. So I don't have a slide to show you the percentages other than I know that it's only performing, or 30% are not performing it correctly, which is right at the cutoff. Okay? So make sure that they understand that. All right, any other questions on the operator exam? Nope. Okay, we've answered them all. All right. Okay, I've got about 20 minutes that we can go over quickly on the manicurist exam, the esthetician exam,